So here's some of the big dummies that I was talking about. There's in the neighborhood of about 35 heifers, and I don't know how many calves there are with them, but somewhere in that vicinity. There's some more down there. But as I mentioned, they rotate in between fields. This is another field over here that we just came from. We checked on those trees first. I got some out down this hillside just over the hump here, about 150, 200 yards out. And so I thought I'd just give you a look at what we're contending here with, cows, deer, everything else. Okay, so I got good news and bad news. This is the field where I just showed you. We do have some tubes up. Speaking of tubes, there's one over here that they did destroy. There's quite a bend in that stake, so we'll see if we can't fix that. One thing I did notice, none of these have the weed mats. They've all I don't know, stepped on them, somehow broken them and tore them out of the ground. You can see them laying here. There's a piece here and one up there, one there, one across that little watering hole. So far the weed mats are about worthless here. So we'll fix this tree. Let's check out to see if these other trees have. I think they're still alive though, so that's positive. Let's see here. So this is one that was in the tube. I pulled it off, and fortunately it didn't take, so I lost this one. And looking in here, there's a big old hornet's nest. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you can. Wasp nest or something. So if you do get tubes, just be careful with those. It's struggling, but it's alive. A series of these trees here, and this is where I cut a whole bunch of those black locusts that were invading this area. So I cut those. I got a pretty good kill on those. I did miss some down there, but I see some leaves here. These are chestnuts, and the cows have been in here, and I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. Actually, these are persimmons right here. So we got this one here is doing good, that one there is doing good, and I'll take you down there in a second. Okay, so here's an area I wanted to show you. I initially walked right past it, but to back up, I had 125 trees. Let's see here. No, I'm sorry, 150 trees, and I had 125 tubes, if I recall. And I wanted to do some without tubes to experiment how they do, to see if they grow better, faster, or maybe the tubes are detrimental. I don't know. So I wanted to try that out. This is an area that didn't have a tube. You can see down here, this is the weed mat here. And I just put the stake in here. It was from one that I found that just died. But you can hopefully see, that there is a cow track. A small one, but probably one of the calves. Every single weed mat that they can get to that I've seen so far, they've destroyed. So if you have cows, you're planting trees, doing weed mats, it's almost a waste. So I decided I'm going to tube this one here that I had the extra tube, and hopefully it'll do fine. This tree here had a wire screen that I used to protect it, and obviously the weed mat there. So the cattle have trampled that, and that's a goner. Let's see up here. I see where they trampled another one. Yeah, that one's a goner. I don't know if I don't guess I had a tube on that one. Fortunately, it looks like the ones that have tubes are okay. Let's check out this one. Okay, that one's fine. Small, but it's fine. That one down there is fine. Let's see, this one does not have a tube. Still has some growth, so that's good. Maybe these locust trees saved it to some extent. And I'm looking at those ones down there with tubes, and the ones I can see look okay. So the tubes look like they have saved some of these from cows. So that's good. They're expensive, but that's good. You know, they're doing their job to some extent. So here's a persimmon here, and there's a die-off on the top, and that's because the cattle pulled this back and it was hanging on top of it. But there is some regrowth down low, so hopefully that will retake. And at this point I'm not sure whether to even put the weed mat down, because the cows seem to be attracted by the weed mat. I don't know. So here's another spot here. I forgot to hack these locusts here, but this chestnut here is almost out of the top already, and we're just 2 months in. I don't know if you can see it, but it's up to here. So I'm pretty excited about that. You can see the cow pies all around here. They've left this weed mat alone. A lot of the ones with tubes here they've left alone, so I'm encouraged by the tubes so far. If nothing else, they've kind of protected a little bit from the cattle. So I can see these ones down here. They've got leaves, so they all look good. Just a few minutes ago I got tore up by some fire ants. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I didn't get that on camera. I was dancing all over the place. But so far in this spot, with tubes, good. Without tubes, bad. Well, I about got my head taken off by looking in this tube here. There is a huge wasp nest. Really big. So, I don't know if this insecticide works on wasps, but I'm going to try, and I'm going to run like hell after I do it. There we go, I definitely got it there. So let's see. I think that'll do it. I'm just going to assume that does it. I'm not going to stick around. Got too much to do. So I came up on this spot here. I got a few of the persimmons in tubes. The first one I checked had died in the tube. The rest of them have done well. There's one outside the tube over here. But this is the first one I've noticed like this. The leaves are almost like they're shriveling up and turning brown, except on top here, the new growth. So I don't know if that's the result of maybe like baking in this tube or if it's something else. I'm not real sure. But the one thing about this tube, I don't know if you can see down there in it, it collects condensation. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's like molding the leaves. I don't really know. It'll be interesting to see how this and others turn out. But I was high on the tubes and then kind of had a bad spot here with them, so we'll see.
Hey, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course tap that bell button for notifications of future videos. Thanks.